Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session to help a guy to have more confidence professionally and also socially. He was in the industry of real estate. He wanted to have more confidence approaching people, particularly prospects in networking events, but also he was a single man and he wanted to have the confidence to approach women that he was attracted to with a spirit of charisma, confidence, almost a feeling of invincibility. And that's exactly what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session. There's a few metaphors and also anchoring to a resourceful state. So there was a time in his life where he really had that confidence. So there's regression to that particular point, but then there's also a metaphor. So in the hypnosis session, I used the metaphor that if you had 3 dice, and if you were to roll 3 sixes at exactly the same time, if you would win $1 million, how many times would you roll that dice? And the correct answer, of course, is as many as it takes until you win that $1 million. You don't think about all the times that you roll the dice and don't get the right numbers. You just keep rolling until you do. So having that attitude when thinking about women almost creates this immunity to rejection. He doesn't need to have every woman be attracted to him or interested in him, just one that there's that synergy, there's that mutual attraction and compatibility. So it's really designed to create a lot of invincibility in terms of confidence, charisma, and directness as well, which I think a lot of men are nervous to approach because there is that fear of rejection or that they would take it personally if it doesn't go the way that they want. So this is designed to create a respectful resilience. If you're listening to this and you think that this kind of thing might be useful for you, there will be a link in the show notes to schedule a free call with me. But you might find that this session, although it was created for someone else, could be quite helpful for you. In which case, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, notice with your eyes closed, you can focus on the sound and meaning of my words. And sometimes, when you're reading a book, the words turn into an imaginary universe that you feel like you're experiencing. And I want you to imagine that as you listen to my words, your imagination will start to translate those words into meanings and those meanings into fuel for your imagination to take you on a journey where change can take place. The kind of change where you can be more like the version of you that you aspire to be, and less like the version of you that really isn't you at all. As you breathe in and breathe out, just notice where any feelings of tension are in your body. And allow yourself to let go of that tension. Perhaps around your eyelids, your jaw, forehead or neck or shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out, and just allow tension to leave your body. Feeling more and more deeply relaxed. And I want you to think of a time, perhaps where you were far away, when you were relaxed, but just before you were about to go somewhere socially, maybe a party or an event. I want you to reconnect with that time in your life where maybe you had a nap or were resting before going out somewhere. Tap into that feeling of confident relaxation, that as you were breathing in and breathing out, tension was leaving your body. You were able to really connect with who you are. And I want you to tap into a feeling of social invincibility. Every now and then you may have seen a superhero movie, and it doesn't matter if they get shot, because they're invincible. Someone tries to shoot them, they just smile. It doesn't affect them at all. And I want you to imagine you have that level of resilience, social invincibility, that it doesn't matter what anyone says or does. You are still you, knowing that you're valuable, worthy, appealing. And I want you to tap into that feeling of invincibility. And then imagine taking that feeling of invincibility and being in a social situation, perhaps in a different country, in a faraway land, and feeling what it feels like to care but not care simultaneously. You would like to make a connection, but you don't need to make a connection. You would like it if someone liked you. You just don't need someone to like you. And if you can tap into that feeling of confident invincibility, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think back to an interaction where the person you're talking with wasn't compatible for some reason. Maybe it was a lack of communication or chemistry or attraction. But I want you to get a sense that you were unfazed. You could say hello, introduce yourself, pay a compliment, maybe even flirt, but it almost didn't matter what they did, because you knew if they're into you, then you're happy to continue with that communication, that conversation, and if they're not, plenty of other fish in the sea. No harm done. I want you to imagine that if you were holding 3 dice, and if you were to roll those 3 dice, and each of those 3 dice were to land on a 6, that it would be worth $1 million. How many times would you roll that dice? Maybe that would be infinite times. You would simply keep rolling the dice until it gave you those 3 sixes. And even if the odds of rolling 1 dice as a 6 is 1 in 6, and 2 dice, 1 in 36. I want you to get a sense that even if it was very high odds, perhaps 216 to 1, if you couldn't lose anything by rolling the dice, but you would win $1 million the first time those 3 dice all show up with a 6, you wouldn't hesitate to keep rolling that dice. And I want you to get a sense that when you can't lose but you can only win, your scarce resource is time. I want you to imagine if there was a different dynamic, that there was 10 people in a room, all with 3 dice in their hand, but only the first one to roll 3 6s at the same time would win $1 million. Any hesitation is a weakness. Pausing for even a few seconds mean that you could lose out. And how ridiculous would it be to worry about not rolling 3 6s on the first attempt when you can have unlimited attempts? The person that loses is the person that overthinks rolling the dice. The person that wins is simply the person that has the confidence to keep rolling the dice, not caring about any other number than when 3 6s appear. I want you to imagine that you're back in that social environment, and I want you to imagine that there are 216 attractive women, the same odds of rolling 3 6s in one roll. And one of them is really interested in you. You're the perfect person for them. But you've only got 2 or 3 hours at this party. I want you to find that willingness, that resilience, to have as many conversations as is necessary until you find the one that is the one most compatible and most interested in you. I want you to imagine doing that anyone that isn't remotely interested is simply impeding your time and your ability to find the one that is interested. Think how rapidly you would roll that dice if you could win $1 million with 3 6s, and then think, the quicker you can find out that someone isn't into you, frees up your time to find the one that is into you. You have the confidence, the resilience, but also the tenacity, that willingness to roll the dice again and again until you get the outcome you want. And if your unconscious mind accepts that this would be a useful strategy, that it doesn't matter all the times that don't go well if you can find the one time that does go well. Let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine you at your current age in an environment where you see yourself with infinite confidence, unlimited resilience, and an insatiable tenacity. I want you to see a version of you that is immune from any kind of emotional rejection. It's almost like you're immune from it. And I want you to observe that version of you, not being in a social setting now, but being in a work setting, maybe a networking event. And just like the idea of keep rolling the dice until you get the outcome that you want, I want you to imagine you're seeing yourself there in that networking event, willing to have the conversations, but fearing nothing. See yourself introducing yourself to as many people as you can, figuring out what the other people do, what they're into, knowing that you are immune from any form of rejection because you can't be rejected. There's either compatibility or not. There's either people that's useful for you to know or not. Even a no could be a not yet. Then I want you to step into that version of you and feel what it would feel like to network professionally but confidently in a resilient, tenacious way. And notice that you can cover more ground when you stop thinking. The thinking can start after you've said hello and shaken that person's hand. Maybe looked at their name on a lanyard badge. Ask them where they're from, what they do. And notice that by covering more ground, you can find connections. Find people you know in common, where needs meet needs. And I want you to get a sense that you've got the ability to be the best networker in the room simply by being willing to cover more ground in a confident, resilient way. Take that feeling of confidence and then observe. I want you to observe you, perhaps in the gym, or maybe observing you in a bar or a nightclub. I want you to see the most confident, resilient, tenacious version of you, unstoppable, unflappable, unfazed, interacting with a woman that you're attracted to. You're polite, you're respectful, but equally, you're playful and confident. See yourself interacting in that confident, effortless way. But I want you to imagine seeing that version of you gets quote unquote rejected. She wants to shut the conversation down, not interested. But I want you to see that version of you smile, acknowledge respectfully, and then calmly move, feeling unfazed, unflappable, water off a duck's back, like nothing's even happened. And then I want you to see you, that version of you, approach another attractive woman. See yourself approaching respectfully, politely, but confidently, calm, confident, and then see a different response. Maybe she's smiling, playing with her hair, making eye contact. I want you to see that version of you asking for a number or maybe social media and getting it. And then walking away again. Cool, calm, composed, unflappable, unfazed. And when you see that version of you, confident, resilient, tenacious, step into that version of you and find yourself in a different situation, maybe a nightclub, maybe a bar. And again, I want you to imagine that there is 20 women in this venue, and one of them will be really into you. You just don't know which one it is. So you're looking for clues. Who's looking at you? Who's making eye contact? Who's smiling? Who has an open posture? And I want you to see yourself approaching the woman that seems to be communicating that there's receptivity. Feel like you're in your body approaching them. But feel like you don't need to sell yourself. You're just interested, curious, interested in their name, where they're from, what they do, curious about their life, their dreams, their passions. And notice that by asking questions, you can gather so much information for you to decide if this is someone that you feel is compatible with you, if this is someone you would like to ask for a number or ask on a date. You are unfazed, unflappable. You'd like the number, you don't need the number. You'd like to go on a date, you just don't care if you don't go on the date. Feel what it would feel like to be completely in control, confident, calm, but also charismatic. Feel what it would feel like to ooze charm and charisma. You're smiling without trying to smile. Finding something that you can naturally compliment. Feel what it would feel like to be in flow. And when you feel like you've activated that resourceful feeling, unfazed, unflappable, confident, tenacious, charismatic, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine what this version of you would be like over the next few days, weeks. That actually, there's an opportunity for you to build this resilience, build this confidence just by practicing in a way where you don't mind what happens. It's simply to see if you can. Observe that future version of you doing exactly that. Having fun. That could be networking, flirting. See yourself having fun and enjoying the process. Unfazed, unflappable, in flow. And accept that that is not a probability, that is a destiny, that is simply your future, and that's what will happen. And it will lead to good things. But also see that the moment you figure out that compatibility isn't there, you're not afraid to walk away, to respectfully end a communication, end an interaction, and simply move on to that next roll of the dice. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're fully integrated into this moment right now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.